Hello everyone, and welcome back to Wednesday here on the Pagan Perspective. I'm your host Eric, and this week we are answering 7 questions. So this week's topic is actually about our past, and we have 7 questions here from Wild Silverwolf. I watched one of Kara's Finding Wicca video and had a topic. He liked how she told her story, or she, I guess Wild could be male or female, I don't know. Anyway, I was now wondering if the group could, as a topic, do something similar. Here are some further details. 1. Tell your journey to put path name here, story. My journey to heathenistic agnosticism. I know it sounds kind of weird, but I do believe that there is a higher power. And I have a tendency to venerate the Norse gods because they are a cultural thing. I came into that decision after looking into a lot of other different possible deific paths and other religious type paths, and decided that since I am unable for myself to put a name to the higher power that I believe in, I believe everything is connected, and I believe that there are definitely powers in the universe much more powerful than me. I don't know what those are exactly, because I am one of those terrible, terrible people who requires truth and fact to coincide. And that's why most other religions didn't really work for me, because faith is something that I'm not very good at. It's something that knowledge is a much better thing for me, and knowledge requires fact. So anyway, I do have plenty of belief, I just don't have a whole lot of faith. So my journey to agnostic heathenism, this may take a little while, but I'll try and sum up a little bit. When I was growing up, I was LDS. For those of you who don't know what that is, that's the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, also known as the Mormons. I grew up in the LDS faith. My parents are still LDS, along with many of my siblings. I decided when I was old enough to make my own decision, once my parents decided I was old enough to make my own decision, that I would try something else, try something different, start looking around. And I looked around for a couple of years, and I didn't find anything particularly interesting. I studied Taoism and Buddhism and Hinduism, and I didn't really look into the Muslim faith because it was also Abrahamic, and I was not really interested in looking in that direction at the time. But I still don't know very much about that, honestly. But I didn't find paganism at first. What I did find was that I wanted something, but I didn't know what that something should be. So I kind of fiddled around with the idea of just being agnostic, recognizing the fact that there is a higher power, but not being able to define what that is. So I did that for a couple of years, and then at random I found the runes because of a short stint hanging out at my brother's house with his roommate at the time, Dave G. Dave, thank you very much for letting me steal your tarot and then getting me the set of runes that you got me when I very first started with runes. And I found that as a source of divination and as a source of connection to deity, that worked really well for me. I didn't know how it worked, and it got me started on my path of study. So one thing led to another. I researched where the runes came from, and I found heathenism, and I also found Asatru, which as a religion is, there's no serious drawbacks to that, in my opinion. It's very much about community, and that's awesome. But I don't really want to pigeonhole myself into any one category, so I don't really go for the actual organized religion of Asatru. But after much study and deciding that the Norse Germanic heathen gods work for me, that's kind of where I've stayed, and it's kind of where I've where I've been for, I don't know, probably the past maybe 8 years or so. Anyway, so that's how I found my path, was just through actual random happenstance after a relatively unsuccessful couple of years of looking through other things. Next question is, why is your particular path the one you follow? Because it is completely undefined, but feels right. That's really the only answer I can give. It is undefined and unrestricted, and that is something I definitely like, but it is also, it fits. It fits for me, and whether that fits for anyone else, that's not my problem. So, short answer on that one. Next one is, how did you come to know that this path was right for you? It was a feeling that I got in my gut that nobody was pressuring me to study more or accept this deity in my heart. It was something that when I found it, I went, yeah, that totally makes sense, and it feels good to me, and it feels right to me. So it was something that I then accepted and continued to do. If my path, and when my path changes, I will accept that as well. But for me, for now, this is what feels right. Why is the particular deity that you follow the one for you? This may sound kind of silly and maybe even a little socialist. I don't know. Folkish is the word I was looking for there. But it's simply because I connect with the gods from the Norse pantheon because it makes sense to me from where I have come from. God, the idea of gods is older than me and older than anyone I have ever met. And why would I not, and this is a personal thing for me, why would I not take from the gods that my ancestors used for myself? It makes sense to me. I also still believe in Yahweh, the Christian God, but he is not as helpful to me in the idea of archetype than the some of the pantheon, some of the gods of the Norse pantheon. Next question is, how did you come to know that he, she, or they were right for you? Again, it's just a matter of understanding and feeling. It is very much like Kara said yesterday, a give and take relationship where if and when you venerate a god, if you get something back, then you're having a relationship. You have a relationship with that deity or that archetype or that idea that does something for you. And why would you not continue that if it does something for you? I still occasionally will talk to Yahweh, and I think my parents would probably get upset that I call him by name, but because it's part of their religion not to, it's just they're part of their religion to call him God. Anyway, so it's one of those things where I still talk to Yahweh. I don't expect him to do much, if anything, for me, but there's no reason that he and I can't still have a relationship, or at least in my head. But if it works for you, you know, and if it does not, then don't push it. Don't try so hard. Maybe you're just pushing too. I don't know. So next will be number 6. Was it a long journey to this decision based on all of the above? Yeah, it's a continual journey. So after, what are we looking at? 16 to now? Let's see, 26, that's 10, 14, 15 years. I'm looking at 15 years on my journey, and I'm not done. I still got a long journey yet to go. So after 14, almost 15 years, we're good. It's still a long journey to go. And lastly, did you do the year and a day thing? If not, longer or shorter, and why? Oh my good gods. I spent, just with the runes alone, 12 years learning the runes before I felt comfortable enough to do a dedication ceremony. It was just something that I'd picked them up and put them down and learned them and then forgot them and then memorized them and then checked my knowledges and spent lots and lots and lots and lots of time and effort and energy and, just spending all this time learning them and memorizing them and understanding them. I spent over a decade just figuring it out before I decided I was ready to dedicate myself to learning and teaching and whatnot with the runes. So yeah, it was a lot more than a year and a day. Anyway, I hope this satisfied some of your curiosities about me, everyone. If you have more questions that you'd like me to answer, feel free to post those or any comments, questions, or concerns in the comments section below. But that's it for me this week. Thank you for watching, everybody. Kara, one really quick shout out to you. Next year is the 5-year anniversary of Pagan Perspective. I think, if at all possible, and this may never work out and it may never happen, I think we need to do an actual in-person meetup somewhere, somehow, next year for the collab anniversary. I think that would be awesome, and if that's not possible, let me know. If that's something that everybody, all of the hosts, and any of the viewers would like to hear about, I think you should just drop it in the comment section below as well. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about that idea, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching, and of course, until next time, Odin be with you.